Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About It. This is your host, Taylor, and today is an episode unlike any we've ever done before because it's going to be about Big Brother. So any Big Brother fans, this is the episode for you, but also if you've never heard of Big Brother or you've heard of it but have no idea what it is, we're going to be talking with Angela and Swaggy from the show, who both have partners who are currently away filming. So we're going to chat with both of them and get their experience. We're going to get a little bit deeper into, how they manage their relationships, the things that they've done post Big Brother. So if you're not very familiar with the show, you'll definitely get a little bit familiar. And as always, we're going to talk a little bit more about each of their individual lives and, what they're getting into these days. So first, we're going to start off with Angela, who again is best known for being a TV personality on season 20 of Big Brother. But beyond the small screen, her list of accolades is long. She's a level 10 gymnast. She's a fitness model, an entrepreneur, a business owner, a professional pole vaulter, a 2012 Olympic team trials competitor, a best-selling author, and now she is a vegan chef. She is literally a boss-ass bitch. And her social media, she is just doing amazing things over there. So very excited to chat with her to learn a little bit more about her passions behind health and fitness, a little bit about her being vegan today and being plant-based. As you all know, I'm also plant-based. And then also a bit about how she's managing her relationship with Tyler being away filming Big Brother currently, and a bit about their romance journey. So with all that said, super excited to chat with Angela, so let's welcome her to the show. So welcome, Angela, to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Of course. I'm so excited.
Yes, it's a little like Bachelor meets Big Brother. I didn't know that I would see this day come. It's very exciting because I've never actually talked with anyone from Big Brother before, so
really?
super excited to have you here. I have not watched the show. It scares me. It scares me. It's the fact that it's a live feed 24/7. I don't know. I also don't have cable, so.
There you go. Well, there is CBS All Access, but whatever. The show scares me too. And watching it back after you're on it is a whole nother experience. You go through it again, internally. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, from Bachelor, we film and then we have to wait several weeks, a month, whatever, depending on what time you leave before you see it. But when you see it, it's not the full picture. But with this, I mean, you can literally come back home and rewatch everything.
Everything that happened. Yeah. Every minute of every day is being recorded. Isn't that wild? Think about how much video edit. How do they even store that? That's my question. That must just be so much footage, because there's 100. I think there's 100 cameras in the house.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's cameras. a lot of storage, for technology.
There's a camera in the bathroom, that's watching you pee.
Oh, wow.
They don't watch that one. That one is a safety camera, but there's one that's literally watching you do your business. It's recorded.
Wow.
Crazy,
so, I mean, how do you feel one of the things that we talk about on, when we're filming for Bachelor is, just be yourself. It might feel uncomfortable that there's cameras, but, at the end of the day, just be yourself, because otherwise you'll watch it back and it'll be this weird version of yourself, right? So, how does it feel knowing for, when you go on that you're literally being watched 24/7, that all of this, it's not even people are going to pick and choose what gets shown, but that, literally everything is going to be shown. So I'm curious, the mental and emotional process to being authentic in that kind of setting works.
Yeah, no, totally. Actually, my personal experience was after the first week of knowing that I'm on camera, you kind of just forget that they're there and they just become a part of life. And so it's so easy to be yourself because there's not cameramen that are walking around you, in your face and stuff. The cameras are just on the wall and they'll move a little bit. They'll go up and down, right and left and whatever. Mm-hmm. But you kind of just forget they're there. And so it's really easy to be yourself. And I think yourself, you really just they just blend in, you don't even know that they're there.
Yeah. that is a good point, that it's just cameras and not like actual cameramen like in your face. Whereas on Bachelor, like it's literally, they're like chasing you, like making sure that they get things, you know, that it's like, you got to really be there. But yeah, I could see where if they're just there in the house that they just kind of fade to the background. That makes sense. And you met your boo on the show, and on social media, you guys are honestly so freaking cute.
Oh, thanks.
Oh my God, I can't take it.
Oh, I miss him so much. And like, I didn't think I could possibly miss someone as much as I miss him right now. It's like, it's the hardest thing ever. It sucks.
Yeah. Because when you guys meet on the show, you're together for like 100 days straight.
Yeah. Like you basically I moved in with my boyfriend before he was my boyfriend. It's like, it's crazy. You move in with these people before you meet them. It's wild. And Tyler and I, neither one of us wanted to showmance. We both said before we went on the season, we were like, no showmances. I'm all business. I'm just going to go in there, you know, seal the deal, walk away with the money. And we both wound up in a showmance, and like we've spent every single day of our life together since we met that premiere night 3 years ago now. Crazy.
Wow. And you both have like started businesses. Like, I mean, you just seem like a complete boss ass bitch. And I'm like, she is killing it. Like, you are working it, girl.
Yeah. I love the whole like entrepreneurial stuff is just like, it just like connects with me, and I like love doing it. And it's cool because like, I've been able to teach Tyler more about that, because I had a business before I went on Big Brother. I had like a little like handmade home decor business. And then when we got off of Big Brother, we were like, what could we do together? And I had this jewelry company that I had started like 7 years ago that I had like been playing with. I wanted to get it off the ground. I never really had the opportunity to. So we both kind of pulled it out of the closet together and just started like playing with the idea of like, maybe we'll like launch this company together. And then 1 year ago, it was 1 year and like a month ago, we launched it, and it's just done so well. It's been so much fun. And it's crazy because like we both have such a strong connection to the ocean. And like before, like I had started this 7 years ago when we didn't even know I didn't even know he existed. And like it matches us so well. It's just, everything just feels like meant to be. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's so sweet. And I'm wondering, because this literally was something I just posted about this week about solo time while you're in a relationship. And I'm curious, like you had just said, you know, you guys have spent like every day together, and now he's away filming, and will like, I imagine is the first time that you guys have had like significant distance. So I'm wondering like how, if there ever is solo time individually for the two of you, like pre him leaving for filming, or if this is really like a huge shakeup and like a relationship transition for the two of you.
Yeah. So since I got evicted on the show 2 years ago, we spent 5 days apart. That was the longest time we've ever been apart, was when I got evicted and he was still in the house for 5 days before the finale. And then we spent like 2 nights apart when I had to go home I was finishing my last book that I wrote, and I needed to go home to just like isolate myself and just like knock out the last 2 chapters. So I was just like, I'm going to go home, take 2 days and just like bang this out. That was the only other 2 days that we've spent apart. And every single day we're together within like 3 feet of each other. Like we're literally attached to the hip, like physically. And so this is the first time we've ever really spent any significant, and this is like significant time apart. We can't talk to each other. We can't communicate. I can see him on the live feeds, but I haven't been watching the live feeds. But actually before the show like started to do the whole like 2-week sequester, before I had to go to Mexico to finish shooting all the content for my cookbook. And I was going to push that trip back so that he would leave before me. But the Big Brother producers had pushed the season back so many times that my trip had gotten locked in. I couldn't do anything about it. But it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise, because we were able to be apart from each other, but still have like a ton of communication. So it was like little like baby steps into it. Like we had that week when I was in Mexico where we literally were on FaceTime like 24/7. Like I had my phone always on FaceTime. Like he was always like there with me. And then he got into the sequester. They took his phone away, and then he would get it like a couple hours a day to like talk to me. And then they took it away completely. So it was like a nice little like transition. I couldn't have done just like being together every day to nothing. I would have lost my mind. Like I needed this transition.
Yeah, that is a nice, very like slowly weaning yourself to become accustomed to a little bit of that distance. And you said that you're not watching the live feed now. I feel like that would be like very tempting, knowing that like whenever you wanted, you could just watch him.
Yeah. And I people have asked me a lot about this. They're like, why aren't you watching the live feeds? And kind of I have two reasons. First and foremost is we have a company together, and then I have another company, and then we have all our social media partnerships, and then we have cookbook. And so
you're like, I'm busy.
So much to do that I know if I turn those live feeds on, I will get no work done this summer, and I can't have that. So that's the first reason. And then also, I feel like it's unfair that I can turn him on and watch him, and he can't see me. So I'm like, if we're in this together, like I'm going to struggle as much as you are, and we're going to get through this together. And when we come back to each other, we're going to be on the same page still. And that's what I really want to like is make sure that we're on the same page when he comes out. Cause that was something that I struggled with letting, like when we were going over this decision, whether it would make sense for us, is that we've always been on the same page every single second of our lives. And Big Brother messes you up in the head. Like really long adjustment period before you can get back to like real life and like being able to be in the world again. Like it's really it's months of adjusting. And I was worried that, you know, he was going to be adjusting and I was going to be like, it would just like throw us off. And we've never been like on different pages. So I was really worried about that. And I just feel like if I'm not able to see him and he can't see me, maybe we'll be on a closer page when that time comes. I don't know.
And then,
sense, but I feel like,
no, that does make sense. I think he can't see me, but I can see him. Like that part would feel a little funky a bit. I could understand that. So then are you planning, I imagine these were discussions that you both had before he left. But then when he gets back, is that something that you'll feel like the two of you will watch back together and feel like you're on the same page of it, like experiencing that?
I think so a little bit. Actually, I don't know if he's going to want to watch it back right after. I think what we kind of talked about, like our strategy coming off the show is going to be, and I think I'm just going to like take care of his social media for a long time and just kind of like gradually like let him get his phone back, because all of it at once is just so overwhelming. Yeah. And I think we need to really baby steps this time, because we didn't do that last time. We got our phones back and then we were just like hit with this like whirlwind of, because we went into the house, nobody knew who we were. And then you come out and all of a sudden your Instagram says 300 something thousand followers. And you're like, what the hell? It's crazy. Yeah. And then like, you know more about you than you know about yourself. Like it's wild. But I'm hoping the second time through, it's going to be a little less harsh since he's already gone through it once. Yeah.
All right. Time for a short break right here. I want to share, again, one of my favorite sponsors of the podcast. You probably already guessed it. It is BetterHelp. And y'all know that they provide professional counseling. This is not a self-help service. This is a safe, private, online environment where you are matched with a licensed professional counselor. So if you're struggling with depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, self-esteem, LGBT matters, family conflicts, they have licensed professionals that specialize in a variety of things. So I'm sure that you'll be able to get matched with someone who will be best to fit your needs. And if you are matched with someone and it doesn't feel like it's a good fit, you can easily be switched for free. So that's a huge, huge bonus with working with BetterHelp. And they also do offer financial assistance. So definitely make sure to check that out if you are struggling with finances. I know therapy is not always easy to afford. And then I've mentioned this in the past, but for any of you new listeners, BetterHelp is actually seeking therapists. So in all 50 states, they're recruiting additional counselors. So if you are currently a counselor and looking for some extra work, definitely check them out. And I just honestly want you all to know that like it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to get some help. So I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/talkaboutit. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkaboutit. And now we can get back to talking about all the things. Now, like, I imagine just talking about how difficult it can be afterwards, like what was the motivation for him to go back on and like for you guys to have this separation, to know that it was going to be really difficult? Like, I imagine part of you maybe didn't necessarily want him to go. Like, I feel like that'd be a really hard decision to be like, yeah, like totally. Yeah, you should go and do that.
Yeah, it was really hard. And we went back and forth so many times over the past couple months. But at the end of the day, neither Tyler nor myself are the type that will ever back down from an opportunity. And this is a really amazing opportunity to go back on and compete on an all-star season. And like, Tyler is a Big Brother super fan. So this is like his Olympics. And like, I couldn't live with myself if I was like, don't go compete in your Olympics. Like,
because you literally like were training for the Olympics. So you're like,
I couldn't even like relate to that. Like, what if I had a boyfriend that was like, you know what? I don't want you to go away for the Olympics. You can stay here with me. I would be like, you must hate me. Like, there's no way that I could ever let him turn down that opportunity. But at the same time, he felt guilty for leaving me because he knew that I was taking all of his responsibilities on my shoulder, and also was leaving me during a pandemic. So it's like, there was just so many factors and variables to weigh. But at the end of the day, it came down to like, this is an amazing opportunity and it's temporary. And if any couple can get through this, it's us.
Yeah. Well, I feel like y'all both have like some high relationship confidence. Like you both feel like very secure and confident in your relationship. How?
Second question.
Yeah. Aw. How did you guys like do anything like special for like your last days together? Like what did that look like?
I
feel like I would be like an emotional wreck. I would just be crying the whole time. Be like, don't leave me.
I was an emotional wreck for sure. We both were crying all the time. But we actually were so busy with getting his Big Brother package ready. We had to do a lot of like behind the scenes stuff for the filming and stuff while like those last couple days. So those last couple of days were super stressful because one thing people might not know is that there was no production that filmed the intros. Those were all self-taped by us. And so we were doing that the last couple of days. And then the last day together, we just kind of just hung out. We just rode bikes. We got sushi from our favorite restaurant, and that was it. Yeah. It was pretty chill. We didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to literally just like do nothing with the person that you love.
Yep.
Sometimes like that can be the most romantic thing. It's like, I just enjoy doing nothing with you.
Yeah. That's been our life for the past 3 months.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, being by yourself during a pandemic, not the funnest thing in the world, but it does sound like you have been very busy with your cookbook and all the businesses that you run. How do you feel like you're coping with not only him being gone, but like just with life in general as it is these days, like other than being busy with work?
I've just been trying to stay busy because I know when I'm just like focused on like the work side of stuff, I don't really think about like being sad and stuff. So I've just been trying to like really just like channel everything, all my energy into the business and just like try and just take advantage of this opportunity and make the most of it.
Yeah.
But the cookbook has had me so busy. I did not realize what a project it was.
Yeah. I've like attempted at times to be like, yeah, I should do like a plant-based cookbook kind of a thing. But it is so much work as I look into it that I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot more than I expected, but it was fun. Yeah. I really enjoyed the process, and I'm beyond happy with how it's turned out.
Yeah. And can you share a little bit about like what your experience was, just how you even got here to being plant-based and, where people can find the book and kind of what drew you to even doing a book around being plant-based?
Yeah. So 7 years ago when I was training for the Olympics, I picked up this book about veganism. I didn't know it was veganism. I was just like, oh, health and nutrition. I love learning about nutrition. Opened this book up. It happened to be about veganism. I read the whole thing and like my mind was blown. I was like, how is this possible? This literally negates everything I've ever thought about my diet. And like, that was something that I've really focused on in track and field. I always felt like if I could get like a little bit of leg up with having my health at its very like peak performance, then like that was my way to get ahead. And so, okay, well, this book is telling me that everything I've been doing is wrong. I was like, all right, well, I need to figure this out, because I was like, so like distraught about this like information. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go vegan for the next 30 days. I'm just going to cut out the cold turkey going vegan. And so I did it 30 days before my national track and field meet, like the biggest meet of the entire year. Like my coach was like, this is the dumbest thing you could possibly.
Your coach is like, not the best timing.
An idiot. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll do me. You worry about you. So I did it. And I was expecting to get like headaches, and I was expecting to feel like tired, and like, I was expecting all these negative outcomes from it, which really goes to show, like, I feel like when you expect an outcome, you'll get that outcome, but it's not what happened. Like I would eat, and instead of feeling like I needed to go take a nap, I had a burst of energy, and my skin looked better. And I had like knee pain that I had been dealing with for months and months and months, and it was getting better. I was like, okay, there's something with this diet. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to stick to it. And so I went to nationals that year, and I placed 6th, which was like the top place that I've ever placed at nationals. I did amazing. And I felt good. My mind felt clear. And I was like, this is how I'm meant to eat. And I do believe that everybody is different. I think that everybody's bodies are uniquely different. And so what works for me might not work for someone else, but this is what works for me. And so I've kind of been vegan off and on for 7 years now. And then this past Christmas, I was just feeling really lethargic and tired. My skin looked terrible. I felt bloated all the time. My stomach hurt. And I was like, I'm going to go back to veganism, and I'm going to stay there this time, because before I would go back, I would do it for a month. I would start feeling good again. A holiday, and I would eat like turkey or whatever. And then it would just be like a downhill battle. So I was just like sick of the roller coaster. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to like stick to it this time. And I think, you know, what's made me stay with it this time was that Tyler did it with me, and he's like, let's do this together. And you need that support. You really do. And so we started in January, and we haven't looked back since. We absolutely love it. It's been like so fun getting to just like try new recipes, and like it opens a world of like new possibilities. Like I was so used to like the chicken and broccoli and rice. Like it's open. You can eat so many foods that are just like so much better than the actual thing. It's crazy. And people don't really know that. And I want people to know that. I just want to be like, just try these recipes. If you don't love them, like I will give you every penny back for your buck, but you're going to love them.
Yeah, no, it totally is a whole new world when you do go plant-based, because I feel like you said, people are so used to like the chicken, broccoli, rice, that there's like these meals that we've deemed to be healthy and balanced, when really like there's so much variety in nature that nature just offers us that is so nutritious, and like our bodies crave that variety. I mean, I feel like we've totally deprived ourselves of that in our culture, and just have, you know, primary food groups that we eat, like potatoes and burgers. And, you know, it's like there's so much more we could be doing with all of this. And that's fantastic that Tyler's like joined along in that. I think that is one of the big battles that people experience in, you know, transitioning their diet, is when they do have a partner, and their partners may be eating very differently than they are. And that can kind of make things a bit difficult, but it sounds like Tyler was pretty open to this.
Yeah, he's been so supportive, so supportive. And then like another thing that really kind of like sold us on it is like, there's so many other reasons to be plant-based. There's like our planet that we're destroying from animal farming that people don't realize. And like the more we dug into like veganism, the more we learned, and it was just eye-opening. It's shocking. It really is crazy. And not just that, like like the way animals are treated, and like, why do we take care of a dog and not a pig? You know? When you take a step back from eating meat, you really start to see the animal's face. You don't see it as a steak. You see it as a cow. You don't see it as a pig. Like you see like the animal, and it really, like, you get to a point where you can never go back. And I think that's where we've far past.
Yeah. Yeah. I went in Calgary. I went to this sanctuary for like abused and neglected farm animals, Alice's Sanctuary. I did an episode literally in the middle of the farm with goats that were just like snuggling me as we recorded. And, the pigs that were there, they were so friendly. Like first of all, pigs are like actually very smart, and they were like so lovey. Like they literally just wanted their bellies rubbed. And after that, I was like, oh my God, I can't.
I know. It's crazy. They have like the intelligence of like a 4-year-old kid, I've read.
Yeah.
It's wild. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It makes my skin crawl. It really does. It's so sad.
Yeah. Well, I'm really happy that you have, kind of dug into this. And I think it is so important when people do have a platform to educate around our food systems and like the impact that has. And, certainly every body is going to be different and require different things. But I think, moving towards a more plant-based diet seems to be the best overall for the health overall of our culture and our worlds, like regardless of what each individual body needs, like each individual body needs a healthy climate to live in, right? And if transitioning to a more plant-based diet helps do that, then I think that's like the way we should maybe be going. So I'm happy to see that like with the platform that you have had a focus on veganism and kind of that transition.
Yeah. It's the one thing that I really want to use my platform to like, spew out, but I want to do it in a way that's not aggressive. I feel like sometimes veganism can be like shoved down people's throats, and I want to do it in a very like open manner that like is accepting of like transition. You don't have to just be straight vegan to like to like the food. You can try it. You can be a meatless Monday and still be contributing. Like be very gradual. And I'd like
absolutely
one of the ways I want to like be able to like introduce people to this like new world that's out there.
Yeah. Well, and I'm like, I almost want to ask like, well, what's coming up next for you? Because I feel like you're just going to keep doing amazing things. But I'm also like, no, girl, I want you to like also relax and like enjoy life too. So I'm curious if there is anything like up and coming for you and Tyler, like any kind of plans that you have there, whether it's business or, relationship wise, engagement. You guys talk about everyone and kids in the future. Like what's the plans?
Yeah. I mean, I think we are both very clear that we're going to be with each other forever. And we actually just bought a house. So we're kind of doing it a little bit backwards. Usually,
I don't know if that's backwards.
The house, but we got the house. And so I know that he's going to be in my life forever, and he knows that I'm going to be in his life forever, but we're taking it really slow. Like neither one of us is in a hurry,
Yeah.
So I don't know about engagement. I mean, you'd have to ask him that.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you're both on the same page though, of knowing that you guys are going to be together for a while. And it's not a question of like, does she want to marry me? Like, it sounds like it's just a matter of timing on that.
Yeah, 100%. We've talked about kids and stuff. Tyler loves kids. It's the cutest.
Yeah.
He's like he's going to be such a good daddy one day.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure you're going to make a fantastic mom too.
A busy mom.
Yes. Well, hopefully maybe incorporating some balance to feel the feels,
right.
Certainly things are definitely like stressful right now for you. And, I can only imagine being separated from your partner this much and also being as busy as you are, also being in a pandemic. It's a lot to hold. So I appreciate your time here today and would love for you to share a bit about like where people can find you and how they can get the book.
Sure. So my personal Instagram is at Angela Rummans, and then my cookbook has its own Instagram, and that is at Angela's_plant-based kitchen. And then you can pre-order the book at www.tangelainc.com. And that's actually the only place you can pre-order it right now. It will eventually be available on Amazon, but not right now. And it should be shipping mid-September if everything goes as planned. But we are also in a pandemic, so it's caused a couple of hiccups so far. You can imagine.
Yes, very understandable. And yeah, your cookbook page is absolutely gorgeous and is like major inspo for plant-based. So definitely hope people will check it out. And I'll put all of that in the episode notes so people can go and check all of that out. But thank you so much for your time and for sharing.
Yes, it was so nice getting to talk to you.
All right. So that was Angela. And now we're going to transition into an interview with Chris Williams, known as Swaggy C, also on Big Brother and on The Challenge. And I'm going to apologize in advance, but also not apologize at the same time. I have moved outside onto my balcony for this recording as a part of self-care for the day, something that I need for myself to continue to move through the workday. So you might hear a car drive by, and I apologize for that, but also hope that you can respect my honoring of what my needs are and also maybe help you feel outside as well, and help maybe that can be a part of your self-care too. There's a lot of birds that you might hear chirping in the background. So yeah, that's just a little disclaimer there, but really, really excited to talk to Swaggy. We've got Instagram posts I'm going to go through with y'all that he made that I absolutely loved. He's from Bridgeport. He grew up in the hood and is now making $300K in a year as a 24-year-old. And I'm just so excited to hear a little bit more about his life, his experience on Big Brother. He also has a partner, Bailey, who is on Big Brother currently, kind of like Angela. So excited to get into that a little bit as well. So I'll stop talking now and we can talk to him. So with all of that said, welcome, Swaggy, to the show. All right, so welcome to the show, Chris or Swaggy. I don't know which do you prefer. I don't know which to call you. I'm like, do I act like we're BFFs? And I'm like, yo, Swaggy, what's up?
Nah. There's a camera on. My name is Swaggy. If it's like real life, it's Chris.
Okay. Well, Swaggy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I've been following you now, gosh, I want to say several months now, both you and Bailey, and both of you are just seem like absolutely fantastic humans.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate the compliment. I got to follow you back. I don't know if I follow you yet. But thank you for following me.
Yeah.
Check right now.
It's a lot of plants and cats and vibrators and relationships stuff. So.
Yeah. Nah, it's all good. I just did a vibrator post collab like 3-4 months ago, so I get it.
Yes, amazing. Yeah, I'm so happy to know that y'all are open with that. Y'all both, I mean, y'all are like a fine-ass couple, too. Like, I've seen some of your Savage posts.
Oh, we appreciate it.
And I'm like, dang, they are killing it.
It's all Bailey. It's all Bailey. It's all Bailey. She's she's the sexy one. I'm just the husband in the background. I'll be chilling.
No. So I do want to talk a little bit about your time with Big Brother, and that's where you and Bailey met. And would love to talk a little bit about Big Brother stuff, but then I also want to talk about just your life and the things that you do too. Sure. I mean, how are you feeling right now? Because Bailey is away filming and you're now going solo.
Yeah, no, it's really weird because it's like I'm in the same position. I just wrote like in my journal to Bailey because the first time she was on, I had like a journal that I like made up online and I just printed all the pages out and like I gave it to her. So I'm doing the same thing again right now. And the first thing I wrote was like, all right, we're back in the same predicament where you're on the show, I'm home, evicted, and I'm writing a bunch of letters until I see you again. So it's a little weird, but like, it's better now because when I first got off the show, it was like I got evicted. So I was still pissed about getting backdoored and I had to go back to Bridgeport. Yeah. And now it's like, we're good. I'm in Los Angeles. She can go on the show. It's like, all right, cool. Like and I got my dog Velvet. So it's like, all right, I'm cool. And then whenever you get back, I'm good. But it still feels weird that it's the same position we were in 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're killing me with this whole journal thing. That's so like sweet and sentimental. And I mean, I'm a words of affirmation kind of gal. So just hearing that, like y'all are doing
same with me. I'm words of affirmation. Yeah, nah, like, and it's not like I do it on Microsoft Word and I print it out. It's like, it's an actual book. It's called Cilantro. I'm even shouting them out. And you literally like a table of contents. What's the like cover page, the back cover page? You write in it and you click place order, and they literally make it into like a magazine book, and you just give it to them. So
that's so cute. I'll have to check that out. Was there any kind of like advice that you gave Bailey before she left, or any kind of like how do you guys prep for that?
Yeah, I just told her don't trust anybody this time because the first time, like on our season of BB20, me and her were the only two to get backdoored. Everybody else got a fair shot at the veto. Everybody else, just got voted out. We literally got backdoored. Like the only two the entire season. Go back and watch the season. We're the only two. And I told her this time, I don't care who's smiling in your face, who's laughing at you and making deals. Unless you know them personally in real life, like Davon, we know Davon. Mm-hmm. Unless you know somebody personally, all these other people don't care about you. They don't care about you, me, or Velvet. They want you to get themselves to the end. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I just told her basically, be how you are, be the social butterfly, and talk to basically talk. Like she likes talking, mm-hmm. She likes being around people, but don't trust nobody.
Yeah, that's gotta be so hard when you're living with people around the clock to have your walls up like that.
Yeah, and you feel like you have to trust people because, you have to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. But when you're in that house and there's isolation from the real world, there's no TV, there's no phone, you feel like I have to trust this person. Not all right, I can put fake trust. No, all right, I've been with you for 20 days. I don't think you'll snake me. And it's no, the person still will. So
dang. So are you watching everything or do you discuss boundaries around that of if you're going to watch or not? I feel like that's super tempting that you can literally just turn on and watch her anytime. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I'm like you said in the beginning, I'm very busy. I don't have time to watch the live feed, but somebody would text me even Courtney just texted me a few days ago saying, Bae's talking about you. The fans will say it. The minute they say that, it's all right, I'll go check the live feeds really quick. Yeah. But I don't have the live feeds propped up somewhere where I can just watch 24/7. It's only when somebody tells me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I almost I want to talk to someone who is doing that. I want to be how do you process that?
It's weird. Because I told myself I wasn't going to do it because last year when she was on the show or 2 years ago and I got eliminated, the fans would tell me and I went on. Mm-hmm. When the live feeds just started this year with All Stars, I tried for the first hour to just have it on my big screen and then me be on my monitor because I have 3 monitors right here, and here, and me do my work here. And it's so you can't focus because it's all these conversations and it's babe, it's all right, I got to turn it off. I'm not getting no work done.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. And how do you find that you cope emotionally being separated right now? Because it's not even you're in a long distance relationship. It's you literally have no communication for 3 months.
Emotionally, I'm fine because, like I said, I have a lot of things I do on a day-to-day basis that keeps up my time, and I get to watch her. She may be doing wrong because, she can't keep it with me. You know what I mean? I can turn on TV and see her anytime I want. So if I need to, because she talks to the camera, she's Swaggy, I love you, make sure you're good, X, Y, and Z. Anytime I need to hear that, I can just turn the live feeds on. She can't do that. So it's more so her, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Ugh. I'm a therapist, and so I'm always wanting to know, how are people coping?
Really?
How are you feeling your feelings through this? And I know that staying busy is often a coping mechanism of just if I'm really busy, then I don't have to deal with this stuff and I don't have to sit with it. But it's such a strange dynamic that I don't know. I just can't imagine being in that position of just being able to turn it on and watch, and they're right there, but no communication. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, luckily I'm used to it because we did 2 different shows right now, and the second one I got to eliminate before her again, so I'm used to it. You know what I mean? I'm used to being home and she's on a show.
Yeah. Was there any conversation of feeling if the two of you weren't doing it together that you shouldn't do it? What was the motivation for her to go on again?
No, I actually quit reality TV about 2 months ago, so you'll never see me on another game show. You won't see me on the challenge again. I don't want to do it no more. And when Big Brother called for All Stars, luckily they called for her because they called for me. I would have said no. You know what I mean? But they called for her, and for her it was All Stars comes around once every, I don't know. This is the second time in 15 years. So it's you can't really turn that down, especially if they're calling you an all-star out of the 400 whatever contestants. Yeah. So that was the only motivation. And on top of that, she wants to be the first Black female winner of Big Brother. Let's take away celebrity with Tamar. Shout out to her, but the 22 seasons. She wants to be the first. So it's not really a money thing that we're going for. It's more so establishing representation. And if she don't get that, then that's what it is. As long as Davon or somebody, you know what I mean, wins, it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm wondering what, if you experience, first, I would love to hear a little bit about, your decision in quitting reality TV and, what led up to that. But then also, I know from my own background, I was on Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise and like the diversity issues there, but I'm wondering how that is for Big Brother. Like how diversity played a role, like if there was inclusion, if we feel like they're taking the right steps, or what that experience is like being a Black man on a show like that.
Yeah, I feel like for the last 20 years, Big Brother has done like a terrible job with like diversity just in general, because it's only like every year it's only one Black person or two Black people and one gay person, and then the rest is just all white. Like literally that's all it is. And it's like, that's not representation. This year they did a great job. It's like 8 people of color and like 8, straight Caucasians. It's like, wow, okay, we have that. The challenge has been exceptional, like above and beyond over the last, I don't know, however many, like you can go decades back. It's like they always had, they always were diverse, and they weren't like, all right, we got 2 people, that's the limit. Like if they wanted to have a cast full of 10 Black people, they could do that because they really didn't care so much about the race. They more so cared about, all right, who's going to give us the best TV show? And that's what I love about the challenge. Like I said, like me quitting reality TV had nothing to do with the producers. It was more so the people and the fans. The producers from both shows are nothing but amazing to me, Yeah.
Well, I know last year there was a bunch of like racist shit that happened or something like that. That there were people
for Big Brother. Yeah,
on Big Brother. Yeah. But you're saying it's kind of from like not necessarily how the show is running itself, but the people, your fellow contestants, and how the fan base is that makes you want to quit reality TV.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like not the producers, but like the network to a certain extent is a reason, because like I know like they can narrate however they want. They can put me in any type of narrative they want, like whether it's true or false. I had to watch the challenge paint a narrative of Bailey and Casey that was completely false, and they spun it around. And Bailey and Casey they both knew it was false, but you know what I mean? So it's like, all right, you guys can spin whatever narrative you want. This is not what I want to do. But that is probably like 3 to 4% out of why I left. The rest was the actual people and the fans, just like you said.
Yeah. I feel like that's the piece that a lot of people don't see or understand. Like part of why the representation and the inclusion and hearing stories from Black and Indigenous people of color is important is to have that reflected, but also to help make that less of a rarity, right? Because the fan base of most reality TV shows that are pretty mainstream and on large networks, right, are a predominantly white audience. And they're not exposed to that diversity in their own personal lives unless it's, jamming out to Cardi B and appropriating Black culture when they want to. But
yeah, for sure.
But I think then people miss the mark on understanding where like people of color on shows experience a shit ton of racism from the fans. I mean, that was part of it for me, that it was like getting messages that were super fucking rude. That was just like, okay, I guess I don't belong here then.
Yeah, it's super bad. The fans don't care. It's like we can say something, and then like somebody completely else can say the exact same thing, and they will try to find a reason for why it makes sense for that person and why I can't say it. Like it's bad. So this is why it's like I don't have the time to. If this is what you're gonna do, like I saw it with Big Brother, I'm like, all right, maybe it's just one time. Then I got on the challenge, and the fans are the same way, and it's like, nah, it's clearly the fans. Like you guys have some type of illness where it's like you guys do not like. And you guys can say, oh, it's not because you're Black. Why, when I say something or act a certain way and somebody else, it's different? I have a nickname. Your favorites have nicknames. Oh, you can't call yourself Swaggy, but people can call themselves Bananas and Rockstar and Johnny Mac. And I'm like, oh, like that makes no sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hypocritical and it's just annoying, which is why it's like, all right, I don't have time for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Plus, I mean, you are like hella entrepreneur. I feel like you do so many things, and I would love to get a bit into that. You grew up in Bridgeport, and I've been through Bridgeport.
Have you?
I have. I also, my ex was living in Stamford for a while, so I was up there.
Like 20 minutes away.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes away.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't belong here.
Nah, it's not the place at all.
Yeah, I definitely did not. I'm sorry, there's a recycling truck going by. This was part of my self-care today, was to sit outside during this. Did a disclaimer for listeners, so there we go. That's recycling truck. But I definitely felt like, okay, this is like not an area I belong. I felt like I was in like Stepford Housewives in Stanford and was like the only non-white person, and the other people who were non-white were like incredibly gentrified.
Like, this is not even close. And Stanford is actually becoming a city where it's like gentrified in general. Like, like the black people are actually leaving Stanford and actually migrating to Bridgeport, New Haven, and Hartford. Those are the only three basically acceptable cities to live in if you're black. If you're a black man living in Greenwich, you better have some money.
Yep.
If you're in Stanford, you better be, you know what I mean? Like, you got to have your income raising through the gentrification. It's like, it's a lot right now what's going on with CT, because realistically, Connecticut, not even realistically, factually, Connecticut is the richest state in America. Like, it's not even close. Like, they're the richest state in America. And then you got every city in Connecticut is rich except Bridgeport, New Haven, Stanford, and Hartford. What do they want to do? They want to make sure it's 4 cities out of like 30, 40, and all of them are rich except for 4. Now we got to make sure the whole city of Connecticut or state of Connecticut is rich. So it's like, it's all going to get gentrified.
Yeah. Well, and part of your, like, I would love for you to tell a little bit of your story here. You dropped out of your senior year of school to basically pursue being an entrepreneur. And a lot of what you do is around like helping create Black wealth. Yeah.
So I dropped out of college before my senior year started because I didn't feel like college necessarily was a scam, but I felt like taking out loans, especially going for a business degree that you can't declare bankruptcy on if you're defaulting on your loans, is a scam in that sense, where it's like, why am I, and like I said, this is my mindset. When I was, I think 20 years old, I was like, why am I learning how to run a business from somebody who does not own a business herself? Nope, let me figure it out myself. So I dropped out and like, you know what? I'd rather go with it myself, save some money, and see what I can do.
Look at you with your maids. Good for you.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. They just rung the doorbell, so I'm sorry.
Do they want to come over to my place next? I can use some help.
Right? I was about to be spotless. But so I dropped out, and then I started babysitting in Greenwich, which is the richest city in Connecticut. I started babysitting and all that stuff because I didn't want to work at the previous place I was working at, JCPenney, and like I didn't want to be coming at 9, leaving at this time, and only make X amount of money. I wanted to get like actual cash. So babysat there, and I just tried to figure out how to day trade and how to invest in the market and how to control my money. And then over time, it just added up. Now I'm 6-7 years in, 5-6 years in, and now it just all paid off. And now it's like I know everything that I'm doing when it comes to the market and investing with my money in general. That's why everybody sees like the massive growth that's going on my Instagram. I went from living in Missouri to like a penthouse in Los Angeles. Like, it's not, that didn't happen overnight. That was an accumulation of years of studying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I want to bring up one of your Instagram posts because this got sent to me a few times after George Floyd and when, white people were becoming woke to the issues of Black people. And one of the questions that I think a lot of white people pose sometimes is like, why are Black people flashy, right? Why do they need to show all this stuff, right? Like, but in rap music, it's acceptable and white people love it. And
they love it.
Yeah. And I want to read through this post that you shared. This was on June 7th. You said, I post a lot about money, cars, the market, the finer things in life because I'm a successful Black man. Statistically, I'm not supposed to be here, especially being from Bridgeport, Connecticut. But I'm not supposed to be rich. I'm not supposed to be getting interviewed by Forbes and Yahoo Finance in a few weeks. I'm not supposed to be living in downtown LA. I'm supposed to be in a few gangs, robbing stores and causing problems for no reason. But I'm not. And the fact of the matter is, all caps, most Blacks aren't. Understand what Black Lives Matters means. It means that our lives matter just as much as the next, and it's not being treated as such, especially by the feds. I'm going to continue to be my true, unapologetic self, and I hope every Black person continues to do so as well. Braids on Black people's hair is not unprofessional. Driving an expensive car doesn't mean we stole it. We can be the president of a company. We can do it all. Let's keep moving. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep changing the narrative. I'm Black, educated, successful, and very, very proud. And when I read that, I was like, yes, thank you.
my captions are very, very detailed on Instagram. I try to tell a story with like all of my posts. I don't try to just do like a lyric. I try to tell like an actual story.
No, I absolutely love that. And that's why I was like, he's someone I can get down with following because there's depth here and there's purpose.
Yeah, like I said, I try to have purpose because it's like, a lot of people do raise that question where it's like, why are you so flashy? And it's like, it's crazy because people have this selective memory where it's like, when I got evicted off of Big Brother and Bailey's family was like known as, all right, they have money. They're not like rich, but they have no money. And you are coming from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Oh, she's above you. You're X, Y, and Z. You don't like. I was studying the market, but you don't got a job. You can't take care of her. I got her the ring. Her parents paid for her. Got the house. Her parents paid for the house. And it's like they did that for years. Kept saying I'm all of this, and then it's like when I finally show y'all, no, I'm really making money. It's like, which one do y'all want? Y'all want me to not say a single word and just live my life, and then y'all can clown me, or me be overly flashy and it's like, oh yeah, we know he's rich, but he talks too much. It's like now I'm gonna talk shit. You know what I mean? So that's why it got annoying because it's like. Statistically, like I said, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I'm probably like in the 1% or 2% of people in Bridgeport, Connecticut who have made it out. And Black people in general, how many Black billionaires are there? Like, the top 10 is, Zuckerberg and like the owners of Google, Chris Sacco, and,
Gates.
Like all of them. GoPro, Gates, Buffett, all of them. And it's like, how far down you got to go to the Black person? And then you go to all the millionaires, and it's like, okay, obviously the NBA and all that stuff, but like how many Black millionaires are there in comparison? It's like, all right, statistically, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, Bailey was driving a nice car at like, I think 17 or 18 years old. And the cop stopped her and asked her who car it was. She was like, it's my car. And like, they didn't believe her until she showed her ID and registration. And then they realized who her last name was because like her family's kind of big in Missouri.
And what white person is getting pulled over and the cop is asking, is this your car?
Like for what? Like, you're going to say, oh, like you're speeding, like let me see your license, X, Y, and Z. Cool. Whose car is this? That's not the question. Ask my ID. I'll give you my ID. Don't ask whose car is this. Yeah. So it's like all of those situations happen. Like I gotta make sure, like if I get stopped in the middle of the night, I'm not scared. Unfortunately, I did get stopped in the middle of the night one time, but it was like when I was 19 years old. I did get like taken out the car, guns drawn, all that stuff, but that was years ago. But that's my reality. So it's like when I have these things, it's like, I have money. I'm educated. Like you can put me in the hood and I can hang around all the, the neighborhood cribs and I can feel normal because that was my reality at 14, 15 years old. You can put me on Wall Street and I can talk to you about Fibonacci technical analysis until everybody knows like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. Like I'm educated. So it's like, that's the difference.
Yeah. And now, I mean, you have clients and you have people that you work with to help essentially coach them, would you say, on how to do day trading and how to like invest their money, the Swag Academy?
Yeah. So I have two different businesses right now. And in that one, I have, I think 12 to 15 people working for me. Like I have like employees like who all work for me. So it makes my life a lot easier. Then I'm using that and my own day trading money and YouTube because I get paid a lot from YouTube as well. Because like for some reason, if you make finance videos in comparison to vlog videos, I don't know the CPM, but like I can get 100,000 views off a vlog and 100,000 views off of day trading, and I will make way more on AdSense on day trading because of the people paying more for the ads for finance as opposed to watching a day in the life of a couple. You know what I mean? So like I said, I forgot how the CPM works, but I know I've done both and I get way more money day trading. So it's like with all three, I plan on starting 3 businesses next year, and I'm going back to my hometown in Bridgeport and I'm going to build a big ass gym. Oh, dang. And I'm going to own it. So I got some plans coming up soon.
Yeah, you do. Dang. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. We only have a little bit of time left. And one thing I definitely want to ask you selfishly here, related to Big Brother, is how do people have sex in this house? Because you're being watched all the time. Oh, you asked the right person, clearly. Like, you're watched all the time. I can't even imagine. I mean, I feel like you're fairly open about sex. We've talked about vibrators already. And, I'm like, I never had sex on Bachelor when we were filming because I was like, nope.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. No, me and Bailey are actually very open. So, clearly, Bailey got pregnant on Big Brother. So, we had to have had sex one time. You know what I mean? So, we... in 2 different scenarios. One was the everybody knows that the HOH bathroom, that's not the bathroom, the shower, that's the only place that there's no cameras in. So like everybody like knows that's a given. Like people really masturbate in there and have like everybody is in that shower, which is crazy. Yeah. But the other time where she actually got pregnant was just a regular room when it was just dark. But like you can have sex, but it's like you just can't move because like even though it's pitch black dark, the cameras can see. So it's literally just like this the whole time. Like you can't really move. But the cameras can see you, and then they call you into the diary room 20 minutes later, like, so what happened? It's like, what do you want to know? Like,
so how are you having sex and just not moving?
Like, it's literally just like your lower half moving, but your face, because you can't really make facial reactions because they can see you in the dark. So it's just like this the whole time. But like your lower half is moving. So it's just so weird. The challenge is so much different and easier because the challenge doesn't have physical cameras. It's actual cameramen running around and recording you. And like they take breaks all the time.
Yeah.
And mind you, they know like if you're about to have sex, they will not record. They're like, all right, go ahead, do your thing. Just come back out, put the microphone on, and talk to us when like we have a storyline.
Yeah.
Like the challenge is very storyline based. So like, all right, you about to like people literally be like, yo, I'm about to go fight with this person, bring the camera. And the cameras will get up and go to film them.
Yeah.
Big Brother is like 24/7. You gotta be very, very careful with that. So
yeah. I mean, for that to be like your first sexual experiences on the show, to be like, you know, very boxed in almost, right?
Very
that then
in.
like when you get out of that, are you then just like going wild?
Yeah, it's like anything after that is better. So you can imagine going from just like a few minutes of like, you know, stale and not moving to like, all right, like I can look over here. There's no cameras. I can lock the door. I can close the blinds. Oh, say less. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I imagine so. And I mean, I know you said you did this was a YouTube video, right? On vibrators?
Yeah, we did a YouTube because we had a +1 collaboration.
Yes.
So we did an Instagram post and a YouTube post on it, but we talked about it a little bit because, like, you know, like we got sent it and like used it and stuff. It's actually very dope. You know what I mean? So it was like, wow, okay, like toys are not meant just for like individual stuff. Like you can definitely incorporate it as a couple, and it's like it actually enhances the experience as opposed to where we need a prop. No, it makes it more interesting sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, +1 has sponsored the podcast in the past, and they're fantastic. I've got a few of their toys that I love. I want to ask, first of all, I'm like, can we be BFFs now? Because there's like 1,000 things I want to talk to you about. But one of the things I don't think we've ever really discussed on the show is like for partners using toys that typically women that write into the show or even that follow me on Instagram will ask things like, you know, how do I go about introducing this to my male partner? Like he considers toys a threat or feels like I'm saying that he's not pleasing me well enough. And like how for you as a man incorporating this into your sex life with Bailey, did that feel for you?
I think it was more so of like a mutual thing because it wasn't like when you're married, you always try to find the next thing that enhances your life. Like the next thing. You know what I mean? It's only so many times you can have just regular, full-on, physical, relaxing sex and like without even doing anything or like changing location. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's only so many times. So it was like we both suggested it or one person did it. It was like, yeah, cool, whatever. Like I think men got to like lower their ego. It's not so much about you're not doing something right. You're doing everything right. Yeah. But let's enhance the experiment times 30. Let's get crazier. Let's have more fun. Why do we have to like, to feed your ego, let's do nothing but your hands, and like, no, it makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's there for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like a very secure, confident man when it comes to that. So I'm real happy that Bailey's got you. Do you have any like recommendation of like what your favorite toy is to use, or like one that you would recommend? The primary female listeners that listen to this that they might want to introduce with their male partner.
Primary, honestly, probably just a regular vibrator, like just a regular basic one in the middle of sex as well. Because like Baby's been gone for a while, so I don't even think no more. And then I've been so locked in on business. Like that's one of the things Baby's been getting on me a lot the last few months was like you've been so locked in and becoming this multimillionaire, and then you get the multimillion and you want more instead of just sitting in, you know, like smelling the roses. And like now I'm wasting her quality time because it's like I'll work all day and then it's like I'd say it in my Secure the Swag show on YouTube. I said like I work all day, then it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm laying in bed with Bailey and she expects a conversation, words of affirmation, or even physical intimacy. I'm just like, babe, I'm tired. Like, I've been working all day, and it's not fair to her.
Yeah.
So I had to really reel back, and that's why I hired employees. So I can do this right now, and my business is still going, and I can just start trading when this is done, and then spend time with Bailey, and I have all the energy in the world. So
absolutely. I mean, it's about the journey, not the destination.
That's all it is, right? That's all it is.
Yeah, but no, that takes a lot, and I love that you actually listened and reflected on where you were at in your life and made those adjustments to be able to delegate and to say, I don't have to be doing all of this myself. I want to be present in other areas of my life that matter to me, not just my work. And I think that's a really hard step for people to take sometimes, because it also does involve the ego a bit, right? Of being like, this is mine. I'm building this. I need to do this. A sense of feeling needed sometimes plays a part in that, right? And I think it's fantastic.
It does. But you got to realize that, and Bailey told me this as well, because I thought about this. It's like, I can make $7 million and do everything myself, or I can make 5.2 and everybody does everything for me, and I don't gotta $2 million less. Why the fuck not? I don't
you're
need,
gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be okay. I don't need the extra. You know what I mean? It's no point. So that's when Bailey brought it to my attention, where it's like, do you really want the money, or do you want a little bit of money, but everything is good? I'm like, first of all, anything over $1 million is not a little bit of money. So I'll take anything. So I had to realize that, all right, cool. I'll make sure you're my priority. Because the only reason I'm making this money is for you. So you can have a life of security. You don't got to worry about nothing. And if you're not even happy with the money I'm making, then it's like, all right, let me give you quality time. What's the point? Exactly.
That is, I mean, I feel like y'all want to come over and have a FaceTime call, because y'all need to talk to my people sometimes.
I feel like a lot of conversations we have we won't even fit in this this podcast.
I know,
so
I feel like we're going to need to bring Bailey in and do a 3-way podcast here. But I mean, to that point, I've had a lot of partners who have been entrepreneurs and have had these goals of becoming multimillionaires. And I'm like, well, what's the point of that? If you want to be able to make $1 million to then be able to enjoy your life, yet you then have fucked everything else in your life to get that $1 million, then what is the purpose of that?
There's no end goal. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. So that's why it's like, all right, the only person who was complaining was my wife. Now she's 100% happy. Then Big Brother calls. So you can imagine what the last 2 months were like. It was just amazing, just happiness, and everything good. I found the balance. She knows she's going on Big Brother. And that's why in her ET interview, she said, me going on Big Brother is actually a break for Swaggy, so he can work his ass off for 3 months. And when I come back, then we're going to Thailand for literally 5 months. I'm not saying a word to nobody.
Yes.
So.
Oh my gosh. Well, and then she'll have the book that you'll be able to give to her too.
Yeah. The minute she comes, I have a lot of things for Bailey when she gets out. So I'm excited when she gets out, because I have a lot of gifts for her when she gets out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's crazy. She says it all the time. I'm a gift giving person. I love affirmations, and Bailey loves, her thing is, what is it? Acts of service.
Yeah.
So I make sure everything's done. That's why I make sure the house is clean. We have a private chef, so we don't got to cook food. Everything's good. So all we got to do is love each other. Right? All we got to do is love each other. That's what I'm saying. All we got to do is love each other.
Yeah.
And then I will give gifts on top of that, but only when everything is automated. So.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I'm so happy that you came on, and already felt like this is going to be a great convo, but I'm like, this is so fantastic, and would love to have you back on again with Bailey, maybe when she gets back, after your 5-month trip in Thailand, and all the quality time spent together. But would love for you to share just a bit about where people can find you, any other kind of things that you have up and coming, how people can become a client, aka myself, because I need to learn how to invest.
So my social media is Swaggy CTV everywhere. If you want to learn how to invest or day trade or just control your money, it doesn't even have to be investing in general, just how to be better with your money, go to www.theswaggyacademy.com. If you want to see what goes on in my life on a day-to-day basis, because you won't see me on reality TV, go to YouTube and type Secure the Swag, and it's I'm on episode 8 right now. I just dropped an episode of a day in the life of a millionaire 2 days ago, and it's going crazy right now. So follow me on YouTube, Secure the Swag, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. What is the number one financial tip you could give? What would be
what are you about to say?
What would be the number one best tip for people to know?
You gotta literally the main thing about people losing money is they don't understand how money works. Not just so much oh, I need to budget. It's not about that. You got to understand how inflation works, how the government and the monetary policy works with the currencies. And then how does that work with like, all right, what I want to do in life? Am I happy with my career? If I'm not happy with my career, what would make me happy? Okay, how much money do I need to live per month? All right, cool. This is how much I make already. I can balance it out with like an actual sheet, but I have extra money left over. Now I need to work month by month, use that extra money to fund what I really want to do. And then just like I said about the 7 to 5 million, do you really need, $8,000 a month working at GE, or do you want to make 5,000, hosting your own podcast or working from your phone? And everything is on your own. Like, then you got to figure out, what your lifestyle really needs. Do you really got to drive a Tesla when you only make $50,000 a year? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of things, and people don't understand how money works, and that's why most people are terrible at it. They don't understand how it works. It has a language. It's like a second language.
Yeah, not my language. I majored in words, not numbers. That's what I always tell people. Like with a client, like something with like money will come up and I'm like, yeah, I majored in words, not numbers. This is not my forte.
Yeah, no, you're very good with words.
Yeah, well, so are you. So thank you again so much. It's been absolutely fantastic and very energy giving to my day. So I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate it. Now the camera's going to cut off. Now Chris is going to just relax for a little bit. Swaggy is going away for a little bit.
Yes. Go enjoy yourself. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. I'll holler at you. Thanks, guys.
All right, that does it for today's episode. Thank you so much for making it all the way through and keeping your ears, your hearts, and your minds open. It would mean so much to me if you could take a second or two after listening to this episode to leave a review on iTunes and let me know what you're enjoying about the show. I love reading, what your favorite episodes are, where you guys listen, and definitely feel free to share this with a friend. I mean, part of how we break down the stigmas around these topics is by talking about them, right? And sharing them with more people. So definitely share the podcast. And again, really wanting to include all of you in this podcast. So if you have questions or you want to share a thought or an experience, please send in a voice memo to ask.letstalkaboutit@gmail.com. And I'm really excited to keep having these conversations and breaking down these stigmas. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next time.